everyone. Welcome to the Self-Awareness Journey podcast. I'm Melissa Albers.
And I'm JJ Parker. This podcast is for seekers, seekers of happiness and joy, seekers of a centered approach to success in life, seekers of their true, authentic selves.
Get ready for some real talk on everything from anxiety, emotions, and habits to love, compassion, and forgiveness. We know you'll be challenged and enlightened by this conversation. We're so glad you're here. Let's dive in. JJ, guess what? It is your favorite time of year.
That's true. It's goal setting time. Right?
Yep. That's your favorite
New Year's
time
resolution time. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about New Year's resolution time is that the parking lot at the gym is like super full.
Right, for 3
all of
days.
January.
For 3 days. No, they came out with a study that said sports goals, like when people go back to the gym, it literally is 3 days.
No way, 3 days?
Yes.
Give me a break.
That's the mass is 3 days. I suppose you have your holdouts that make it a whole month just out of guilt for having to pay a membership fee.
Well, they paid the whole month.
Exactly. So come hell or high water, they're going to get their money's worth. And then come the next month, they just can't be bothered.
So yesterday, I was like, hey, we're going to talk about goal setting. And then I asked you if you had, like your goal spreadsheet ready.
Right.
And you laughed at me.
Yeah, I did.
So I
hardly know where my Excel icon is on my computer, much less managing a bunch of spreadsheets. Okay,
Here's a question: Did you set goals last? Did you set goals last year?
Well, yeah, we did. We set goals. Yes, I did. I did set goals.
Oh wait, did we had a pod about setting goals, and then did we say what our goals were?
I don't remember. I'm a little scared to look because if we did, I was a loser. I'm a loser.
If
That's
we
all.
did, you didn't do them.
If we did, I didn't do it. What can I say?
So you're not really
feel
a
like
goal setter then, or at least a goal follower.
I would say my goals are more short term. Actually, do you know what? I'm really not very good at setting a year-long goal. Unless it's driven by something in my business. I'm really good at setting goals.
Yeah, I was going to say, which is terribly ironic because a good chunk of your career you've been to help in strategic plan, which is like... those plans are almost always a year.
I think that's true. If it's business related, I'm really, really, really competitive about setting goals, hitting goals. But it's such a part of my everyday thing that I guess I don't hold it out as a special thing at any certain time of year. But now if it's a personal goal, oh man, I don't think I have that drive for personal goals. Isn't that terrible? Jeez, now I'm questioning myself.
I don't know, that's terrible.
Well, yeah, okay, maybe that's a bit strong.
I think that's super interesting because like there'll be when you're in business, it's like there is such a frame and a context at work around like
tasking,
the things to be done and how we become more efficient at them, and all the conversation and everything is around those like operational things, and it's easy to set goals around operational tasks.
Yeah. Well, and be able to see the markers of the expectation hit, right? Like I feel like we have a lot of checks and balances set up in businesses, in companies, and in organizations that will say, here's where we are, here's where we need to be, and here's how we're all going to help each other get there. Like, I feel like that's a pretty normal conversation that happens around the water cooler, right? But I think for me, I don't know. Now I'm just actually thinking about this. I've never thought about this before. I think for me, I do that so much all the time that when I step out of that into my personal life, I just want to take my foot off the gas and chill out a little bit. Because I'm just not a chill out kind of
Yeah,
gal.
you don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it. But I think there's huge value, and I know that you are not that way. You have a bunch of stuff, don't you?
Well, yeah. So I would say that I spent like a long time, like most of my life, not having any goals, like at all. Like I never would engage in New Year's resolutions. I never goal set. Like we probably ran the company for like a decade without any sort of strategy or goals.
Really? Come on.
Well,
I don't believe that. Really?
No, when we were first starting, it was so much just like the goal was to just hang out and not go out of business. Like or just like I don't know, like we really didn't have any business goals. It was really just to I don't know, have fun or something.
Oh my gosh. That's
people
funny.
would accuse me of having like a lifestyle company, and I always took offense to that. But looking back, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we totally did.
What was wrong with that?
Nothing.
Nothing's
But now that we
wrong.
have goals, it's a whole different ballgame.
Well, so what's your relationship with
nowadays.
goals? Like, do you get excited about setting goals? Like, does this like fire you up when you're going to set goals for yourself?
Yeah, so going back to that, so even personally, I never really had any goals.
Yeah.
And I just wandered around aimlessly. Or I kind of more had this philosophy, like, if I needed to change something, I should just change it.
Oh, yeah.
And move on, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need a yearly marker to cause me to have to, like, make a change in my life.
Yeah.
However, the past couple of years, I have been really a lot more purposeful about setting goals.
I have a question.
So this year,
Okay, sorry. I
Yeah.
have a question. Why?
no, go ahead.
Why? Why do you? And why didn't you? What was the shift?
I don't know what the shift was. Well, maybe the shift was that once we started doing better planning and goal setting in the business, the
Yeah.
improvement in the business was dramatic.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course.
like
Yeah.
like quite dramatic. Like
Yeah.
like and it kind of got me thinking like, "Ooh, that works. That actually
got
really works." And so then the other part of it is that I'm part of this Vistage group, and a lot of the folks in that group are, operations minded, and they like goal setting. And I'm like, okay, I'll try hopping on this goal setting train
Yeah.
instead of my wander around in the woods aimlessly train that I
Yeah.
had been on.
Yep.
So I started goal setting mostly because of those two things. And so I've done it for the past few years. This year, I track my handful of goals. I every month I review them.
For 2022, as in this year, not
Yep,
the new
for
year coming.
2022.
Okay.
Right, for the past year. Yep.
Yeah.
So then
Okay.
I could do the same thing
Huh.
for 2023.
So do you have a format that you use? Like now I'm curious.
Well, I've tried a couple different formats.
Okay.
So, one is like when I started, it was like pretty simple. It was just like, let's just take a few minutes. Like it didn't even take very long.
Right.
And think about like the things I want to accomplish this year, right?
Yeah.
So many of the New Year's resolution things are like that I see people do. Like, I want to eat better. I want to exercise more. I want to maybe be calmer or more mentally stable
Yeah.
or happy.
Right.
Like, those are the three.
Yeah.
Can you think of another one? Or I want to
Well, I was going to say
spend more time in my hobby or spend more time with
Yeah.
my family.
yeah,
They're
be
very
more intentional about my family, my relationships that matter. Yeah. I would say those are definitely the ones. Eating, your physical well-being or size, and then your closest relationships. Those are the ones you hear the most.
Yeah. Yep. So stealing from business, we have to make goals that we can track, right?
Yeah.
Because we need to have a trackable scorecard
Yep.
at the company to see if we're
Yeah.
moving forward. Well, on the personal side, it's hard to come up with trackable metrics.
I know. That's actually what I you've got
like
me a little over a fence right now.
Kind of, but weight's like kind of a poor indicator of your physical health anyway.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
So there's like, and you can get like blood tests and stuff. Well, who's going to go every month and get like a blood test to see if there's things are moving? I mean, some people totally do that, but they're on the extreme side.
Yeah.
For the rest, so personally, it's hard to track your progress if you can't measure, or if you can't measure what you're trying to change, and changing things like I want to be calmer. Mm-hmm. It's hard to track, so I don't know how to track.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
I do have though an emotional a way that I track those feelings kind of things.
Is this an app? Is this the app you made?
No, it's not an app. Oh. No. You think I made an app to track my feelings?
You did make an app about something like you did. You made something.
Oh, yes. I made an app that asks me every single day what my intention for today is.
Oh, okay. That was an intention. Okay. See, I wasn't that.
But now that you say
like
that,
how you said it like that. What do you mean you think I make that? Well, turns out.
Okay. So I've got some very pragmatic, trackable goals. Like one of my goals was around flying.
Yeah.
I wanted to fly 70 hours PIC, which is pilot in command, in 2022. So that one's easy because I can I know how much time I'm in there. So I track it in a spreadsheet every month. I can see it go up. Super easy.
No pun intended.
We have I had a goal for our family to have dinner together once a week because we have teenage kids and they're going every direction all the time.
Yep.
So just one single checkpoint a week.
Yeah.
So I track how we're doing on that.
Yeah.
That one's measurable. And so that one to me is like that's a measurable action that leads to an emotional outcome.
Wow. This is a very analytical experience. And I'm thinking I should be absolutely thinking a little more like this if I create some personal goals for this year. I think that's really interesting. So when you're making these goals, you think about the personal thing that you want, but then you decide if it's trackable or not, how can you? What do you do about the goals that you can't really track? Like the emotional piece,
like this podcast.
Oh man.
Well, I do have I have a self-awareness journey goal.
You do?
You don't know this. This is
Oh no.
Melissa's hearing this for the first time.
No. Oh no. What is it?
Because over the couple of years we've been doing the pod, it's like we can track like listeners and we can track this and that and but none of those metrics like they don't turn into the final emotional state that I want. Like if we grew listeners by a whole lot, that might feed my ego in some way. But that's not my goal with the podcast. So I don't even look at that.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that.
Right.
What I measure every month is if the self-awareness journey is still fun.
Oh, really?
Scale 1 to 4.
1 to 4? Why only 4? Why not 10?
I don't need it to be okay. We will talk about rating 1 to 10s later, but I don't need to be that granular.
1 to 4.
It could just be a yes or no, frankly.
Okay. Well,
but I track it every month. I'm like, was the self-awareness journey fun this month? Or did it feel like a little bit of a slog? Or was I just not into it as much as, this month or whatever?
Okay.
So I track it. And it's gone up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not always a 4.
Right. Yeah, we've had some months that have been like, oh, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, or like you and I are traveling or busy and we don't get kind of like our weekly sync up happening right, and it doesn't feel like right. So I track that because I want to make sure that this project never gets to a point where I don't feel like it's fun anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
And I want to know that before I before like I have like a meltdown on air or something.
On air. Well, okay. You've listed several goals here. How many goals do you have, and are you tracking every month?
6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so not a lot.
And 6 personal goals or 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
6 personal goals. No, the company's got like a whole.
That's what I
like
meant.
the team runs a whole different scorecard of stuff.
But
so
do you have a personal goal as it relates to the company? You don't have to share it if you don't want. I'm just curious if you have a personal goal that relates to the company.
Totally don't.
What?
The company has one overarching goal, which I think must be my personal goal for the company.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it has a basically a financial overarching goal for the year.
Yep.
That everything drives to.
Yep.
And I guess I set that, so that is, I suppose, a personal goal. But
yeah.
No, I don't really have most of the, the 2 main businesses are, stable enough that like I don't need to
babysit,
do a whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So.
But that doesn't mean. But that's funny because the way that you answered that question felt like you thought there was some kind of like a judgment what it was. And I was actually really just curious. It doesn't have to be financial. It doesn't. I just wondered, like, because you have a personal way of tracking your movements through the year, I wondered if you had a personal tracking towards the company. That's all.
Okay. The answer is yes.
Okay.
Here it is.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
I'm only gonna talk about it 'cause I don't talk about this a lot at the company.
Yeah.
So I only have like a slight hesitation. So
then don't talk about it if you don't want.
Totally gonna talk about it. You totally pushed me into it. So I've got two main businesses: Cablecast and Carousel. Mm-hmm. The Carousel business, eventually we're going to sell. So like my overarching personal life goal is to sell that business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm not going to give it to my kids. And
right.
I'm not going to run it until I'm like 80.
Yeah.
Right. So eventually we have to sell it. So that business would be on part of my like big, more like life master plan would be that thing has to sell.
Yep.
And its marker for that is it has to like hit like a revenue target. Mm-hmm. So it becomes like a valuable enough asset that I want to
got it
to sell it. It's like your house appreciating an amount so you can have enough equity to sell it, right?
Yep.
So I've got that goal for the business. So I guess that is my personal goal for the business. I need to grow it to be valuable enough that I'm going to sell.
Got it. Well, that's good. So for people that are like listening right now, I'm on the fence actually, because as you've been talking and giving really specific, concrete examples of how you do goal setting and how you check in with it, I'm asking you a lot of questions, mostly because I realize that being a professional goal setter with companies for a living, when it comes to my personal goals, I don't have a strict protocol whatsoever to do that. And most of the time I don't sit at a certain time of year and set an entire year's goals. What I usually will end up doing is, if something doesn't feel right, I'm just noticing in my process as you're talking. My process is more like, I have been feeling more anxious or more uptight lately, and it's been lasting for a couple of days at a time. I don't like that feeling. So I am going to now intentionally get back on this plan, or I'm going to focus specifically on that so that I can sort of dissipate that, or just sort of water down that energy so that the effort doesn't become so great. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's more of what I do. And that can last. Like the activities that, or the things that I would have to do to feel back to my centered space may take a week, a month, maybe even 3 months. Like it could take a while, but I guess I go more by what pops up for me as I'm going about my time. And I think the intentionality for me is not to not follow through on something or to follow through on something. Honestly, I think the intentionality for me is, does it feel good? Like, am I feeling good? You know, like, let's say I want to pay off something, right? Let's say I want to pay cash for a car, or I want to, whatever, like some financial goal, whatever it might be. I do the same thing. I have such intentionality about it, week by week by week, or month by month by month. And I feel excited about being able to stay in that because I can see that I'm getting closer. But I don't have it like outwritten, and I guess I just have a little bit of a different relationship with my own personal way of having a goal. And I never actually realized it until just now. Isn't that weird? I'm 55 years old.
Well, I think goal setting personally is not a sort of a natural thing. It's just way more fun to just bebop through life and just see where the wind takes you.
Sort of. Sometimes.
But it gets you in trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm a little conflicted because I like doing both. I'll probably, in a few years from now, I'll probably just like go back to no goals.
Well,
but here's some other things.
Yeah.
Here's some other things I've learned about goals. Is, like they're hard to stick to and maintain and get into like a daily habit of working towards them. That's the hardest part. This is why everyone bails on the gym after, like you said, 3 days.
Yeah.
Right. And so one trick I did last year was, I had like, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like a fairly simple goal. I think it was like, just like do yoga 3 times a week or something. And then I had a daily goal. Oh, I had a daily meditation goal. This was a few years ago. I had a daily meditation goal quite a few years ago. And to get in the habit, what I did is I found a calendar, a whole year calendar that fit on one piece of paper.
Oh, wow.
I put all the days on one piece of paper, and I hung it on my bathroom mirror, and I had a red and a green Sharpie, and all I did was cross off the day with if I did it or not.
Wow.
Like, no judgment, no nothing. It was just like, did I do it or not?
Wow.
Yes or no? And I tracked that for like a whole year, and it was like a visual representation of if I was like doing the thing or not. And so then I could see like streaks, right? Like green streaks, and I could see red streaks.
Yeah.
It really helped me like keep that goal like literally right in front of me, because every morning when I was like brushing my teeth, I was staring at that thing.
You know, my sense of humor is kicking in right now, and I just want to ask you if you messed with your kids about that thing on the wall. No. Don't tell them what it's for.
No, yeah, don't tell them what it was. Yeah.
And then just for fun, write their names at the top of it.
Yeah. You have a good night. Red dash.
Well, that's awesome.
So those are like tactical.
Yeah.
That's some tactical things, and I think this year for 2023, I think I am actually going to get more diligent about tracking my goals. I'll probably like step up my cadence and just see where that brings me. A little more disciplined JJ out of for this year.
Really?
What do you think that's going to look like?
I have no idea. Okay, I have a question. Are you going to change any of your goals from last year? The topic?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah.
Well,
I have not decided exactly what they are, but I got to do it in the next day.
Well, I think that this is probably the first podcast, well, at least in the top 5, where we are not 100% in sync on a topic of sorts, right? Which I think is interesting because I think what we're seeing here is this a very driven approach to a goal set, and then a more loosey-goosey approach to the goal setting. And people are going to fall somewhere on the spectrum, right? And I think that there's stuff to learn about and stuff to pay attention to in your own goal setting right now. It's like, for people listening, it's like, last year's been hard. 2022 has been very, very difficult. And even the best laid plans often didn't work because of things that we couldn't control or that we could control. How does it feel for you to set maybe not 6, maybe not 5, maybe 1, maybe it's just 1?
Yeah, just 1.
Yeah. And how would it feel for you to try something different in how you did it? Would it help you to be more daily with something visual? Because that's a great way to stay on track. Does it help you if you're overly rigid with yourself normally? Is it better for you to not have such a rigid perspective about how to make something happen for yourself? Because it's all in the feeling, right? If it makes it, if you set yourself up for these things and it feels good, you're going to do it.
Yeah, this is that. And again, I go back to it. You can set feeling goals because so many times the way you feel is the outcome of your environment, your activities, your relationships. So if you can think about how you want to feel, you can get yourself to then make a measurable, trackable activity that will get you to that feeling.
Yeah, you just got to remember your feeling. That's the thing, is that how does that feel? What does it feel like in your body? Yeah,
and then to measure it, you can just say, did I feel that way today or not?
Yeah. Yes
or no, and then you can just kind of get a little, and that is starts you on that path to get a little bit of a metric to see. It's are most days I'm feeling happy or not?
There's
and
this.
Then what can I do to move that?
I love that. There's this app called Insight Timer. It's a meditation app, and it's got thousands of meditations, hundreds of focuses, hundreds of meditation people, and a lot of it's free. And they just started doing this new thing this year, this check-in, where the first thing when you log into the app, it gives you a list of 5 faces, ranging from green to yellow or red, and they're super happy to super sad. And when you click on one of those faces, then it gives you a bunch of adjectives to describe your feelings before you even start meditating. It's like, how are you feeling today? And why is that? And then you can choose friends, family, work, finances, exercise. It's super fast. It takes less than 15 seconds to do, but that's a great way. That's one great tool to sort of start mapping and tracking your feelings too. But yeah, I really like what you're saying.
That's a great idea.
That's the way to do it, is to really check in with your emotions and your feelings and create that feeling. And if you can create that feeling, then you can come back to that feeling even when you're not in a good space.
Yep. All right, we'll have to check in a few weeks, and you'll have to review my my goal sheet.
Yeah, and I would actually really like if you would maybe help me have a goal sheet. That would be kind of good, I think. Well, Happy New Year! Happy New Year.
That's trying to cage a squirrel. It's too hard.
Yeah, if there's fun things to do in the cage, it might be okay.
All right, awesome. Well, I hope people can use this, right? Yeah. That they can set some goals and whatnot. So
and be good to yourself. And be good to yourself when you're doing it.
All right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Did you enjoy this episode? Please go to your favorite podcast platform to subscribe, rate, and leave a review so others can discover it as well.
Growing self-awareness is a lifelong journey, and there's always further to go. And it's better when we're all in it together. Please think of someone you know who could benefit from hearing today's conversation and share this episode with them. We can't thank you enough for listening. Until next time, happy exploring, seekers.